She appeared at the edge of the ranch, coat tattered, eyes wide and desperate, whispering, "Please, I just need a job." I studied her, young, wary yet stubbornly determined, and said softly, "There's only one place for you here beside me. If you love stories of courage, trust, and love blooming in the Wild West, hit like and subscribe. This tale will remind you why kindness can change a life forever." The late afternoon sun baked the Montana plains, and I, Cole Lawson, was mending a fence when I saw her appear from the dust, boots muddied, hair streaked with sun and grime, eyes darting nervously. She stopped a few feet from me, hands clasped, voice trembling yet earnest. "Please, I'll do anything. I just need work." I could tell from her frame, the determination in her gaze, that she'd faced a world that had been cruel, a world that dismissed her because she didn't fit some invisible mold. The town had turned her away, surely, calling her too young, too fragile, too something. But there was fire in her eyes, and fire was rare in these parts. I nodded, gesturing toward the barn. "Follow me." She blinked, relief washing over her face, and trailed behind me, careful not to stumble in the loose dirt. I studied her as we walked. The way her shoulders held tension yet refused to crumble. The faint smile that threatened to break through when the sun struck her face. There was an innocence and strength in her both, something that felt like hope in a world that had forgotten it. That day, the ranch became more than work. It became the place where two lives would collide, forever changing each other in ways neither of us could predict. Over the next weeks, she worked tirelessly, learning to tend cattle, mend fences, feed the horses, and navigate the chores that shaped life on a ranch. She stumbled at first, dropping feed buckets, fumbling with ropes, and overexerting herself until exhaustion left her flushed and breathless. But she never complained. She had a tenacity I hadn't seen in years, and slowly her hands became steadier, her confidence stronger, and the ranch began to feel alive with her presence. I watched her quietly, noticing how she laughed softly when a calf stumbled, how she hummed while brushing down the horses, how she paused to breathe in the evening air, letting the warm sunset wash over her face. In the evenings by firelight, she asked questions. Not just about the work, but about life on the plains, about me, about the past I rarely spoke of. And I answered, telling stories of hardship, survival, and heartbreak. She listened with patience, empathy, and curiosity. Soon, the cabin no longer felt empty. The barn no longer felt silent. With each task she completed, she built a place for herself here, not just on the ranch, but in my life. And I realized that I had begun to need her presence as much as the land needed tending, as much as the cattle needed care. Months passed, and with them came a rhythm to our days. She became indispensable, yes, but more than that, she became my confidant, my laughter, my heart's quiet companion. I found myself watching her in small moments, the way her hair caught sunlight while feeding the horses, how she smiled at a newborn calf, the soft brush of her hands against mine when passing a tool. One evening, the wind quieted, and the sky glowed in shades of pink and purple. She sat on the porch, watching the horizon, and I joined her silently. "I've never felt welcome anywhere," she said quietly, voice almost lost in the breeze. "You've made me feel at home," I replied, voice low, eyes on hers. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "Then say nothing," I said, "and just be here." She smiled, a hesitant but genuine smile, and I knew that whatever storm life had thrown her way, we had weathered it together. Town gossip started, of course. "Cole's got a new helper on the ranch." People whispered, some in envy, some in curiosity. I ignored them. What mattered was here, on the porch in the quiet, where trust and affection were blooming like wildflowers across the plains. When spring arrived, so did a sense of new beginnings. One morning she stood on the porch, her small bundle packed, eyes glistening with uncertainty. "Cole, maybe I should move on," she said softly, fearing the answer she might hear. I stepped closer, heart heavy yet certain. "Move on where? You've already found home here." Her lips trembled, disbelief in her gaze. "But I've never belonged anywhere," she whispered. I took her hands gently, holding them as though I'd never let go. "You belong here, with me. Not just for work, not just for shelter, but for everything we've built together. There's only one place for you beside me." Her tears fell freely now, relief and joy mingling as she nodded, burying her face in my chest. The wind stirred the wildflowers outside the porch, sunlight glinting through the new green shoots. Inside, the fire crackled, echoing the warmth in our hearts. That night, as stars shimmered above the plains, we understood something simple yet profound. Sometimes, a desperate plea for work can lead to a lifelong home. Sometimes a knock on a door changes both lives forever. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe, because even in the wildest corners of the West, hearts can find a place to belong.